After a while, a dawn light had shone on his face, and the little evil had already come over, and the sky was already bright. Stretching his waist and shouting, "It's dawn, it must be a good day," and when he got up and walked out of the broken house, he found that the passengers were all happy to get their lost items back. Xiaoxie naturally smiled and said, "You guys are really early, do you make money hee?" Picked up the bag of jewels and silver and threw it on the ground and shouted, "Come on! Everyone has a share. Make money in the future." Haha. After speaking, he laughed. These people sighed for a while, sighed and moved forward, and they had already picked up the pitiful appearance of yesterday, and each made money by relying on his real ability, and finally it was the chauffeur who stopped him, and the passengers reluctantly left. Xiaoxie smiled and said, "What, earn enough?" Casually picked up 3 gold ingots worth about 500 taels, and then picked up 2 pearls worth 1,000 taels. Fang withdrew his hand, and walked to the bandit head with the remaining silver 2 beads. He said, "Brother, I am not a way back, you have robbed a lot of money, I have shared some with the passengers, and the rest is enough for you to eat for half your life, you can take it back. As for what you will do in the future, whether you will be bandits or not, we are not ancestors. If I want to persuade you, I'll leak air, I'm too tired." Everyone sat in the carriage, and with a happy harvest, they left this sad and joyful little broken room, and went away. These bandits looked at the back of the carriage and felt a lot of emotion. They also divided the treasures, disbanded each of them, and returned to the crowd to live an ordinary life. He thought from time to time, "I didn't expect that I would also be a teacher, and I would teach people to learn well and not to do bad things, and that retribution in the world will come at any time, just like if I have just done a good deed, there will be a good reward immediately. Isn't God giving me 2 big pearls? It's not a good idea." Within a day, Yang Xiao had come to Lanzhou City. "Woo!" the little evil shouted, "Sure enough, it's an immortal fart, it's extraordinary, how can you play with such a big one?" At this time, Xiaoxie has entered the Grand View Garden like Grandma Lu, and everything is new. He walks silly and stupidly down the street, full of hillbillies entering the city. Many young and beautiful girls took special care of this hillbilly, and sometimes pointed fingers at the thief. Xiaoxie was also very generous, beckoning to them and smiling at them, but he thought in his heart, "Damn! What are these people doing? Be careful of being deceived, there are a lot of bad people these days, I have to be careful." After a while, he thought, "Oh no, the girls are pointing at me and snicker, ing. Still is. Whoever cares about him is afraid of whom? In fact, the little evil looks evil, as long as people in a cheerful mood see him, they will smile knowingly, but he doesn't know it." After laughing for a long time, Xiaoxie is also used to this kind of laughter when Wang Ba looks at mung beans. Anyway, people laugh at him and laugh right. He thought, "This time I came to this big city, there must be a lot of casinos, and I have to have a good time in the dark." As soon as his heart was determined, he walked into an inn, ordered a few side dishes and buns, and asked Xiao Er about the casino. "By the way," he said, "Xiao Er, you know that there is a casino there, the bigger one. It's not small for others to be careful, but it's too good to play big." Xiao Er saw that his clothes were in tatters and didn't want to talk to him more, pointing to the west of the city, and said in a snobbish manner, there is an auspicious gambling house over there, can you go in with 1,000 taels? Xiaoxie wanted to scold him a few words, but Xiao Er had already walked away, and Xiao Evil casually peeled off the skin of the bun, rolled it into a ball and shot at Xiao Er's right ankle. Ouch! Xiao Er stumbled to a dog eating, got up and shook his head and said to himself, "Why did you suddenly stumble? Probably the god of wealth is coming." He never thought that it was a little evil ghost. Xiaoxie snickered and said, "The god of wealth is here, but it's a pity that you can't be blessed." Looking at his clothes, he smiled bitterly. "Grandma Blackskins, this new dress is only worn. It's going to be a hole in a hole, no wonder Xiao Er looks down on me so much, I'll have to change it later, but Lanzhou City is so big, I don't know that there are clothes stores there. It's not very easy to mix in the Central Plains. It seems that I have to wear the old ones." He thought to himself how to make money in the casino, how to spend money, and how to play him, but when he thought of Lanzhou City, he didn't even know anyone, so what should he do if they won the bet? He said to himself, "It seems that I have to fight a few flying knives and hang them on my chest, pretending that my martial arts are very strong, so that others will not dare to trouble me, haha, just do it." As soon as he said he would do it, he found an armory shop and asked them to make 500 throwing knives to hang on his chest. Soon the flying knives were made, and Xiaoxie really hung all the 500 flying knives on his chest, becoming a hero with the most knives in the history of martial arts. "Oh! It's so heavy!" Xiaoxie chuckled to himself, but he still charged himself as a hero, walking upright. This time passers-by did not look at his face and smile, but saw his 500 knives hanging from his chest to his thighs. That appearance is not much different from the clown, but he pursed his mouth again, looking majestic, like a little eunuch in a dragon robe. Not only people in the martial arts are laughing, even the common people are laughing, and he himself is laughing. Lanzhou City seems to be as long as he comes, everyone is laughing. Xiaoxie thought to himself, sure enough, as soon as the knife hangs out, hum. These people's faces are different. Humph, yes, I'm a sycophant. After 3 or 4 turns, he had already walked to the big casino in the west of the city. It was not easy to find this auspicious gambling house. Before he got closer, a burst of cheers came out, which made the little evil heart itch, and he didn't care about using the pretend hero, and ran up in stride. As soon as he arrived at the casino, he stepped on the door, and Xiaoxie was immediately knocked down, only to see 2 big men blocking the door, one of whom said, "What are you doing here? This is not a place for juggling, go. Go away or break your ass." The man saw the flying knife hanging on his chest, and thought it was very funny, thinking that he wanted to come here to perform. The little evil smiled and said, "Dude, I'm here to make money. Man, go farther. We don't let children get lost here." He pushed the little evil in the chest. The little evil said, "Don't worry. Although I am a child, I have a lot of money, you see." He took out 2 pearls and a few yuan treasures for the Hanzi to see. The 2 men looked at it and said secretly, "Wow! This is a fat sheep, okay. As long as there is money, the little doll can also gamble." He let the little evil in. "Little brother, it turns out that you are a big prince, please. The two grinned and greeted the little evil. Xiaoxie was not polite, and with a wave of his hand, he rewarded the two Hanzi with 10 taels of silver each. This time the two of them were indifferent, and hurriedly guided the little evil into the casino, full of snobbery. This casino is very large, with more than a dozen tables, rolling dice, betting on size, betting on pips, and pushing pai gao. Haggard everything, see the little evil heart flowers. He walked alone to the size of the lifter. People saw that he brought so many knives, and it is a small watch, it must be very promising, and also gave him a place. The little evil is not polite to sit on the lifter, and pretend to be an old jianghu, that look is very good. Xiaoye looked at the dealer, about 40 years old, fat, with a figure-8 beard, white coat and an old look. At this time the dealer was shaking the dice. Xiaoye took out the silver and put it on the table. The first zhuang he guessed the big, sure enough, it was big, and then he bet on 10 or 2 taels, and the dealer lost money. After a few times, Xiaoye knew that the dice were not filled with mercury or lead, and he gambled with peace of mind. Oh, oh, oh! The big loss is big, the small loss is small, the next is not dark, and the eyes are not dark. The dealer shook it a few times and put it on the table, and the little evil did not politely nap. Big 100 taels of silver was pushed to the big one, and his expression was very proud. The dealer's face changed, and he slowly opened the cup, and sure enough, it was big. Boom! Everyone was in a commotion. Xiaoxie smiled and said, "It's not enough, it's not enough to see, come and get bigger." The dealer rolls the dice again. Big little evil yelled and pushed 500 taels over. This move can scare the gamblers at the same table, although they are not people who have not seen this kind of gambling, but it is rare. It is good to see it once in a month or two, but I have never seen such a small child dare to gamble so much. I think this small table is not simple, everyone understands very well. Also followed the bet, and the dealer paid out.